Hey, boys and girls. Last week we learned about entertaining beginnings, and we're going to continue talking about them throughout the week. Remember, authors use these techniques to hook their readers. By hook their reader, I mean get their attention and make them want to keep reading. They use action. They have exciting things that happen. Remember, our story starts right close to the big main event. So that action is something important that happens that will grab the reader's attention. They use dialogue and exclamation. This might be a couple people talking to each other, or it could be the narrator exclaiming something like, "Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe what I saw." That'll get your reader's attention every time. It could also be a thought or a question, like this. Have you ever been caught in a horrible thunderstorm without an umbrella? Ooh, I want to keep reading that story. The final one is sounds. Now, I'll teach you a fancy word today. Sounds in writing are called onomatopoeia. Give that one a try. Onomatopoeia. Those are sounds that are used like bam, boom, kerplap. Those will all grab your reader's attention too. They'll want to know what's making that crazy sound. Authors ask some questions when they're writing. So say you want to write an action lead. You would ask, what would I do in this situation? If you want to write dialogue or exclamation, I'd say, what would this character say? What would they exclaim? What would these two characters be talking about? If you want to write a thought or question lead, you might say, what would I be thinking or wondering or worrying about? For a sound, you simply ask, what would you hear if you were there in the story? Let's read and analyze some entertaining beginnings. Good readers think like authors. Remember, we read everything with author's eyes. We want to be thinking, why did the author choose this kind of lead? And what kind of lead is it? Let's check some out. This is from the book Dexter the Tough by Margaret Peterson Haddix. Dexter hated his new school already. It was only his first day, barely his first hour. So far, Dexter had decided that he hated the principal, the school secretary, and the janitor. He hadn't even met the janitor yet, but he hated him anyway. The janitor had made the floor so shiny and slick that Dexter slipped and fell on it, falling right in front of a bunch of other kids. Dexter hated those kids too. They laughed at him. Let's look back at our leads. What type of lead is this? We've kind of got some of Dexter's feelings, right? But really the main thing is that he slipped and fell and all the kids were laughing at him. This might be an action lead. Still, I kind of think that action just happens at the end and it's not given a lot of detail, is it? But you know what we do get a lot of? We get a lot of Dexter's thoughts. Dexter is hating everything, and those are the thoughts. What is he thinking? This is a thought or question lead. Let's take a look at our next one. This is from Patricia McLaughlin's book, Arthur for the Very First Time. The wind began in the night. Arthur awoke to hear the tree branches scraping against the window and the sound of sudden sheets of rain being pushed against the house. Do we have any sound? No. Do we know what he's thinking? No. Did anybody say anything? No. This is an action lead. Look, the action isn't necessarily in Arthur. The action is what's happening with the weather, right? The wind kicks in. The tree branches are scraping. Sudden sheets of rain are pushed against the house. This is action. What a great description. I'm really wondering what happens next. This is from Geronimo Stilton number 1, Lost Treasure of the Emerald Eye by Geronimo Stilton. It was 9 o'clock, and I, Geronimo Stilton, was late for work again. I rolled out of bed in a minute and was dressed in two. Pretty fast, considering I am really not a morning person. Cheese slices, I hate Monday morning, I grumbled while brushing my teeth with cheddar-flavored toothpaste. Then I hurried downstairs, stumbled over my tail, and tumbled all the way down to the door. What kind of lead do you think this is? We have a bit of action, don't we? He's tumbling down the stairs. Do we have dialogue or an exclamation? We sure do, where he says, "Cheese, I hate Monday mornings." We have a little bit of thought, right? We know he's pretty unhappy. No sounds, though. I would call this an exclamation lead. That's probably what really grabbed my attention about it was, "Cheese, I hate Monday morning." But are you starting to see that authors sometimes use more than one of their beginning strategies? It's okay. You don't have to choose just one. You can mix in a little of each. Let's look at one more. It's from the book The BFG by Roald Dahl. Suddenly, a tremendous thumping noise came from outside the cave entrance, and a voice like thunder shouted, "Runt! Is you there, Runt? I is hearing you jabbling. Who is you jabbling to, Runt?" What kind of lead is this? What kind of lead do you think we're looking at? Action? No, there's not a lot happening, right? Dialogue and an exclamation? Whoever that character is, he's talking a lot, isn't he? We don't really have thoughts and questions. I don't know what he's thinking. But the sounds are there too, aren't they? The tremendous thumping noise. The voice like thunder. Those are both sounds. But we have dialogue too. This one is both. It's sound and dialogue. Because sometimes authors use more than one entertaining beginning strategy to get their readers' attention. And you, as an author, can make the choice to do that too. Can you think of a different technique one of these authors could have used? When I think about this one, I love the idea of maybe starting it with the word boom. Because I feel like if you did that, it'd really hook the attention. And you'd have that sound effect, and then you'd tie in here. When I look at this one, he says, "Cheese slices, I hate Monday morning." I grumbled while brushing my teeth with cheddar-flavored toothpaste. Then I hurried downstairs, stumbled over my tail, and tumbled all the way down to the floor. You could almost add a thought in there, couldn't you? Like, "Oh, this was starting out to be a really terrible day." How could you change this one? The wind began in the night. Arthur awoke to hear the tree branches scraping against the window and the sound of sudden sheets of rain being pushed against the house. What if you added a thought to that, like, "Arthur had never been so scared in his life," or, "Oh my gosh, what's happening outside?" Arthur thought to himself. That could make it even better, couldn't it? Tomorrow, we're going to actually get to revise some story beginnings. We're going to put what we've learned about entertaining beginnings to work. I'm really thrilled. I can't wait. I'll see you then.